Hello, I'm Dr. Sarita, taking a beautiful walk today, and I was thinking about some slogans that I heard as a child that I thought were based on health, but really came from industry. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That was a Kellogg's breakfast cereal thing. That's not based in any medical science, and that is really sad. And I know that this is true because I've got my glucose monitor on. I have not had breakfast. I had black coffee and a little butter frosted into my coffee, like a bulletproof coffee, and my blood sugar is 96. My blood sugar is 96. Going for a little walk, and I'm fine. I didn't need to have orange juice. I didn't need to have cereal. A day without orange juice is like a day without sunshine. Oh, I heard that all the time. And fruit juices, you might as well have had a Coke. Fruit juices are filled with sugar. They are a processed food. But what about vitamin C? Take vitamin C. You can, if you don't get a lot of fruit in your diet, sauerkraut is a great source of vitamin C. Pickled vegetables are a great source of vitamin C. Or just have some real whole fruit more at the end of the day and treat it like a dessert. But you don't need orange juice every day. If we said a day without, have a Coke for breakfast, we would not confuse that with health food message. But what about the antioxidants in fruit? Yes, fruit does have antioxidants, but it doesn't compensate for the amount of sugar that it is and the damage it is doing, and I think as well, my dear cousins offered me they really make a wonderful fruit smoothie in the morning. And I am used to not having breakfast. I really do 2 meals a day at this point in my life. I'm 56. They are much younger than me. And it's so kind of them to offer me that. But I don't need it. I'm not a growing child. They're younger. They can handle this. And they have kids who are growing. They need the nutrition. It's a wonderful yogurt smoothie that they make. But, the other problem is when I have a smoothie in the morning, my blood sugar is bouncing up and down all day long. And I think, this or a day without orange juice is good. A day without orange juice is good. Hey, what did my great grandmother have for breakfast? She had coffee 100 years ago, 1905, probably. She had coffee and cream. And orange juice was not a common breakfast item, in the 40s and 50s. People drank coffee, people drank tea, and people often had a protein-rich breakfast, like eggs, and in the United States, people often had eggs and some sausage or bacon and with coffee, and that was a traditional breakfast. It probably was not eaten first thing in the morning because people were going on the farm and doing all this stuff. And when did the breakfast cereals come out? Well, that was when people started moving to the cities and they needed to get up early and get out. They were told to eat these breakfast cereals, which also are dessert. Breakfast cereals are dessert. Just because we call something a meal doesn't mean it's not dessert. And that is Robert Lustig, who is great, has some really great books. I think Metabolical, it came out with recently. I kind of talk about these myths. And breakfast cereal was a big part of my childhood. But I'm living in the United States. Everyone loves breakfast cereal. They're packaged. In Mexico, they don't allow characters on the breakfast cereal. Go Mexico. Look at that. I love these characters. They're in my mind. I see Tony the Tiger and I see, Sugar Bear and all these things. They're not allowed in Mexico. And that's because I was a child getting this information in. So, breakfast cereals are a dessert. They are not a health food. Even the whole grain ones, the starch becomes sugar. What other myths? Don't ever let yourself get too hungry. Eat every 2 hours. That's what I was taught as a child, I was taught to have fruit break, bring in fruit at 10 a.m. after I just had a high carb breakfast. It's a food coma. Then I'm going to have fruit, and then we'll have lunch, and then we'll have an afternoon snack. I'd have cereal after school. And then, so yeah, I was like in a great training ground for diabetes, and it's rough. It's rough as you get older when this is your template and you think all these myths are from health. I have a dear friend who I said, hey, just don't eat bread for a week. Just see how you feel. You don't have to eat all this bread. And he's getting diabetes. And he said, well, what? I can't have eggs because of my cholesterol. I can't do that. I'm thinking, the diabetes is what's going to get us, not the cholesterol so much. Of course, this is not medical advice. Talk with your doctor in your unique situation. But as you lower the carbs in your life, the cholesterol issues tend to get better as well. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you'll consider liking, subscribing to my channel. What messages did you hear in your childhood that you now realize are not serving you? And I'm 6 years old in my head. I still hear these messages. Oh, if you don't eat it, I'll just have to throw it away. I heard that from a lovely client today. If you don't eat it, I'll have to throw it away. If wasted food is a sin. Wasted food is a sin. Well, yeah. I mean, they saw famine. They saw people starve, but they weren't feeding us chocolate. They were feeding us nutritious food. And now when we're adults, to just stuff ourselves is hurting us. And wasted food is a sin. Well, our body is a temple. That's also, our body is a temple, and you don't throw crap in the temple. I think about it too. What was it? If you don't eat it, I'll just have to throw it away. So what am I, like a garbage can, right? That was the other thing. Like, what is this? No, we're not garbage cans. We don't have to eat the food if we're not hungry because we're not children. That's the other thing. Our grandparents are trying to train us to eat properly. And it's so much even tougher now. But I think back, if the grandparents don't do it, who does it? Tony the Tiger, the Lucky Charms guy, the Sugar Bear trains us because we want to bond with something, right? And we're children, and they're hooking us in our limbic brain with this wonderful sugar rush. But our grandparents meant well. Most of the time, and they didn't. No, of course they meant well. Our grandparents were trying to pass on good food traditions, but it's tough. An apple doesn't fall far from the tree, except when the wind is blowing, and the wind is blowing around food and all the messages around food. But I think the simple message is old as gold. Question: where did this message really come from? And I'm Dr. Sarita. I hope this may have resonated with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's what's wrong, what we've been through. And we've been through a massive gaslighting around food. Take care. Consider like, subscribe, comment. Hope to see you in the next video.